Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera everyone. We have come to the last topic of our syllabus. This topic covers some basic polymer characterization. When we synthesize a polymer, its molecular weight is the most important characteristic that we need to know because it will affect the properties of the polymer. The most common instrumentation technique to determine the molecular weight of a polymer is GPC, because it is relatively low cost. Its concept is based on the elution time of the tested polymer that is compared with the elution time of the known molecular weight of a polymer. Usually, polymer with lower molecular weight will stay longer in the stationary phase of the column because it is able to enter the pores of the column bits. From this chromatogram, we can predict that B exhibits higher molecular weight than A because its elution time is faster than A. There are two ways to confirm a structure of a new polymer or to determine the interaction that occurs between the polymer and the additive added. This is important as the presence of additives may alter the properties of the polymer host. Additives can be another polymer, a plasticizer, a filler, a salt, or any chemical compounds. One of the techniques is NMR that determines the number of distinct hydrogen atoms of a compound by determining its chemical shift and spin splitting. A NMR spectrum is obtained from the analysis. The distinct peaks will be compared with the NMR spectroscopy handbook if it is a newly synthesized polymer, or the NMR spectrum of the known polymer is compared with the NMR spectrum after the addition of additive. The appearance of new peaks indicates that the additives had been successfully incorporated into the polymer matrix. The shifting of the peaks indicates that there is an interaction that occurred between the polymer and the additive. If no new peak other than the distinct peaks of the additives and the main polymer host, it can be said that the interaction between the polymer and the additives is only a temporary bonding. Similar concept is applied when using FTIR. Only that in FTIR, it uses characteristic vibrational frequency of each covalent bond in the polymer molecule. The presence of these new peaks indicates that the presence of additives in the polymer molecules and the shifting of the characteristic peaks of the polymer host indicates the formation of polymer additive interaction. The phase of a newly synthesized polymer, whether it is a crystalline or amorphous, can be determined using XRD. The effect of additives on the polymer phase can also be determined using this technique. In this technique, X-ray beam of certain wavelength will strike a set of crystalline plane of the polymer, and the interference of the diffracted beams produce various diffraction patterns with different angles recorded as diffraction peaks. The diffraction peaks of the polymer, if it is a semi-crystalline polymer, will be compared with the instrument software or handbook. The change in the phase of a polymer as a result of adding additive can be confirmed from the reduction or increase in the intensity of the crystalline peak of the polymer. The degree of crystallinity of a polymer can also be calculated from its crystalline peak. The physical transformation of a polymer, i.e. its phase transition, can be determined from the SC analysis. That is based on the amount of heat required to increase the temperature of a sample. The main phase transition of a polymer are when they transform from solid to liquid, when they melt, and this only occur for crystalline polymers. On the other hand, it can transform back to solid during recrystallization. For amorphous polymer, it will not undergo melting, but it will change from solid to amorphous phase, and this process is called as glass transition state. Note that at this stage, the polymer chain becomes disordered. The melting, crystalline, and glass transition temperature of the polymer is presented in this SC thermogram. The change in Tm indicates that the polymer experiences degradation. The degree of crystallinity of a polymer can also be calculated from this crystallization peak by calculating the area under the peak. Finally, the flexibility of the polymer is determined from its Tg. Lower Tg indicates that the polymer is more flexible, and flexibility of a polymer can be related to its amorphosity. 2 Tgs will be observed if the blending of a two polymer is not homogeneous. TGA will be used to determine the stability of a new polymer or the effect of additives on the stability of a polymer host. It is based on the decomposition of the polymer. In this case, it indicates that the stability of the main polymer host increases when additive is added. The appearance of a new decomposition stage represents the decomposition temperature of the additive. The morphology of a polymer is important to know the effect of additives on its structure that may affect the properties of the material. There are two main instrumentation techniques that are commonly used for the purpose, i.e., the optical microscopy and the electron microscopy. The electron microscopy gives a better resolution than the optical microscopy. There are two types of electron microscopy, i.e., the scanning electron microscope and the transmission electron microscope. In both OM and electron microscope, they involve the diffraction, reflection, or refraction of light or electron beams that interacts with the specimen. Collection of the scattered radiation create an image that is called as micrograph. Usually, the addition of additives will give slight change to the morphology of the polymer. When two phases are observed from the micrograph, it indicates that the polymer system is not homogeneous. That's all guys. Good luck and all the best.